About how much is the Dangote Industries putting into this free of cost or free of charge to the government?
No, we are just actually computing the cost. When we finish it, we will know how far we have to go. But whatever it is to repair that segment of the road which is today crippling the movement, we will do it.
You've always advocated that cement, concrete should be used to make roads in Nigeria. How is this going? Have you sold this idea to the government? Is it been accepted? Do you plan to use cement concrete in any of the CSR infrastructure you're investing in?
No, the governments have appreciated the idea because it's not only us. Lafarge Group is doing in Cross River. They are also doing cement concrete road because it's a universally accepted fact that the concrete roads last longer. It will lead to lesser fuel consumption. There are so many benefits. So it is a win-win situation. And cement is locally manufactured when you have to import bitumen from outside. So there is no foreign exchange outflow. You don't need to go and look for imported bitumen. You have the local cement. So there are several advantages of doing the road. But the government has not really gone forward to invest much on new road contracts. But any contracts coming forward, most probably the government will go in for concrete roads. We hope so.
In terms of ease of doing business in Nigeria, how much new monies are you bringing in to ease your doing business and infrastructure challenges you face? Electricity, you talk about that, sewage and a few others. Take us through this, what the numbers look like for you.
Well, if you take all our plants, whether it's a small plant or a big plant, none of our plants are connected to the grid. So we don't depend upon any power generation from the grid. We have all our requirements generated locally. And in fact, it's an advantage for us because today my cost of power generation is far lower than what I'll even buy from the grid. So I don't need to depend. There is a good reliability, clean power, no fluctuations, so my electronics will not get fried up, and my cost of generation is lower. So I have really, initially we were looking at it as a big burden. Yes, it leads to a lot of capital investments. So anybody who you talked about ease of doing business. So anybody who wants to do business here has to invest a lot in infrastructure.
How much have you invested in this infrastructure in over 17 years as Dangote Industries?
As Dangote Industries, we can say on power generation alone, so far we have invested more than about $1 billion, you can say, because in power, communication, housing, roads, and in the Lekki project site alone, on power generation alone, we'll be investing another $1 billion just for between the fertilizer and between the petroleum refinery. So it needs a lot of capex when an investor comes in. But yes, you know, in every country has its advantages and disadvantages. So Nigeria has so much of advantages, so no investor should really get turned back saying that, okay, I have an excuse of power, I have an excuse of roads. You know, investment is like water. Water flows to the lowest level. So if the good opportunities are good, investment will come.
I understand that. Let's talk about your Pan-African footprint and expansion. You're bidding for the Safaku Cement, PPC in South Africa. Why are you bidding, and how much are you ready to put on the table?
Well, you know, as you know, we have always been expanding our business. But if you see whether within Nigeria or outside Nigeria, we have never gone for acquisitions. It has always been actual investments right from the project stage. And now that we have grown to a certain level, we started looking at opportunities for acquisition. South Africa is a good market. After Nigeria, it's the biggest economy in sub-Saharan Africa. And so we have been looking at the opportunity for the past couple of years. We have really not made up our mind to go in for it because their factories are quite old compared to the technology is old, energy inefficiency, production inefficiencies are there. So we have not done a full due diligence. We have been looking at the opportunity. We have not yet made up our mind.
But are you looking to other acquisitions across Africa? For example, in Ethiopia, where you've had a bit of challenges, are you looking for alternative ways of doing business in that place?
Challenges are there everywhere. You take Ethiopia, you look at Tanzania, look at Zambia, Senegal, every country. You know, many times we look at it and say, okay, Nigeria, you talked about how difficult it is to do business. Every country has its challenges. If I start listing it out, you will be very disturbed. So, and as I said, if there are no challenges, you can't expect good returns.
So acquisition is your next phase in terms of strategy?
Certainly.
Outside South Africa, any other countries where you're considering, we're looking at?
Well, we are looking at several opportunities, but it's too early for us to disclose. And where there are certain discussions going on, we always have non-disclosure agreements. So
West Africa,
obviously,
East Africa, where do you think you should be expanding? Where do you think you've done enough?
If you have seen my president's discussion with Bloomberg last month, we are looking even outside Africa, not necessarily within Africa.
United States, Europe, that's where you go.
Let me not preempt what we are trying to do.
Why are you interested in doing other businesses outside of cement? Why?
Well, obviously, we started, in fact, with food, as you know. And our business focus was not food, not cement, to manufacture what is possible locally instead of importation. That's how we started with pasta, flour, sugar, cement. You can do it locally. Why are we importing? That's how our focus was. Today, our new businesses are fertilizer, gas, the feedstock is available, petroleum refinery, the crude oil is available, agriculture, paddy. We have the arable land with water, wheat, soya bean, tomato, sugar. So all land is available, water is available, why to import? So all the new businesses we are looking at today, where we have already started investing, is all import substitution. Do locally, grow locally, or manufacture locally instead of imports, which is what we have done in the past, which is what we are going to do in the future.
I got a final question for you. There's been news around Dangote cement to be listed on the London Stock Exchange for the last couple of years. We haven't seen that coming. You also plan to list other subsidiaries or other companies within the group on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. How soon will any of this materialize?
No, all our businesses are today listed in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The salt and the condiments business, NASCON, is listed in the stock exchange. Flour and pasta is listed. Sugar is listed. And cement is listed. And then our strategy, if you see, all our business style is when we finish the projects, we go into operations mode, then we go and list. So the investors who are coming in know what's the return they can get. The London Stock Exchange, normally the driving factor is if you are in dire need of funds, you go and list. Or you want your portfolio, the depth of your portfolio to be really understood.
Do you need money now or you don't?
For cement, we do not need. We are not in such a big hurry.
Okay, let us know where you're making money
Thank
next.
You very much.
We're going to keep an eye on you.
You're
big enough to be seen anywhere. Thank you. Edwin Devakuma, Group Strategy, Portfolio Investment, and Capital Projects at Dangote Industries Limited. That's wrapping up today's program on Business Morning. I'll see you again. Do have a great day, everyone.